So what should we talk about today? What what should we make the topic or?
Well, I've got a couple of things, not in any particular order. I saw that comment of Rob about the manual, and
Ah,
yes,
yes.
I'm taking that to heart, and yes, I have to take a whole bunch of pictures. So that's task one. The other one is that whole kerfuffle about the AXP, that
The power.
power chip.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple of issues. One was, can it turn on as soon as we turn on the switch, the battery switch? Like we know it turns on automatically if you plug it into USB. That's not an issue. It's the question is when you turn on the battery, can it turn on? And the answer is it's a catch-22. The register can be programmed when the chip is powered up, but to power up the chip, you have to program the register. So just forget it. And I've got a call or an email into the nice folks at X Powers Shenzhen, and they sent me back a spreadsheet of all the registers, except it's mostly in Chinese.
I see.
So I was just hoping to find an undocumented register that would sort of open up that option, but no luck yet. So I'm just going to put that on the back burner. It's like if something new comes up, then I'll mention it or do something about it. And the last one with the unfair. It's a really complex piece of kit. Is the off time. So by default, it's 6 seconds. You have to hold down the button. And there's an option to make it, well, 4, 6, 8, or 10 seconds. So I've got it right now at 4 seconds. The only problem is, remember the joke is like my program works, but I don't know how.
Oh,
Yes, I know.
oh,
This is it. So I programmed those 2 bits to be 4 seconds, and now it's reliably 4 seconds. But I wanted to make sure it's like, okay, am I really controlling it? And I'm trying to set it to 10 seconds, and it keeps reverting back to 4 seconds. So there's something. Maybe the register doesn't get cleared. I don't power it off long enough, and the capacitor on the gate keeps the charge. Or there's something else turning it off. And so I'm just chasing that down just because it's driving me nuts. But for now, I'm going to make a quick commit to the battery indicator. We'll just put it in the activate. I think Yella and I discussed that. And Rob, your 1 amp or 1,000 milliamp charging is going to go in there as well.
Okay, that's very useful to have.
Yeah.
Although 400 is acceptable because that takes 8 hours to charge a 3200 milliamp. That 8 hours is fine, but if it's longer than that, it's not. I think not acceptable.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and but also put some guards around there. There's actually I was looking through the M5 code, and there's actually an undocumented register that if you read this magic register and you get a magic number, then you've identified it's a AXP2101. So we can actually because they internally determine what chip they have, except that's a private private variable in the AXP class. So
yeah, I noticed it before. That's true.
Yeah.
This is not. There's no way to change the behavior of the button. I think there was something that you can say it on and off situation, or you want to have it long press. I do recall that, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah, no, it's a long press, but the only thing that you can vary is the duration of the long press.
No. I mean that this behavior itself can be changed. That's what I recall.
That's
Well,
true. Yeah,
couldn't find
I
it.
did remember a register where you can do like but you can set that if you double press it turns off. That's what you mean, right?
Yes,
let
there
me
was
let me
something
check
like
that.
that. Because
Yeah, let
that's
me.
also a good double press. That's fine. That's a good way to turn it off. Then it goes directly off. That's was my
Yeah.
concern, that it doesn't go directly off. You have to hold it, and people in a hurry, and 4 seconds
Yeah.
it's too long. But if it double press, that will be great. That may
Okay.
be
Well, let me
a
check.
simpler solution.
Yeah, let me check that. Again, the data sheet is really not obvious.
No, I
Anyway,
think so.
I think it was
uh,
the one where that you sent in March, I think. That it contained the register to configure
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
when I was looking into the AXP, like the wrapper that the M5 made, and it's all private methods and
yeah,
stuff. So I
yeah,
didn't
exactly.
really put more time into that at that time. And now,
Yeah,
well, Louis, you can continue on it. So that's
yeah,
nice. But I
exactly.
know that there's an option at least.
I'm pretty sure there is. I've seen it. I went looking for it and I can't find it again, but I'll have to go look again. It could
Hmm.
also be, I don't know. So,
Okay, but then again, what we can always put a switch on it. I mean, I prefer it's a double feeling. The feeling is that it's
yeah,
cleaner if there is no switch, but it's very useful to have a switch to switch it on and off quickly. I mean,
yes,
it's quicker than the side switch even. A big switch is
yes,
boom, and if you're in the cold with freezing hands or with an gloves on,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's possible, but
yeah.
it's not that easy.
Yeah, the on time is by
Oh.
default half a second, 500 milliseconds.
Mhm.
So just to hold it in place. So anyway, yeah, I'll look at that. Anyway, that's
Okay.
it for me.
Okay, good. And Michael, you still there? I still don't see your video.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
You're in a very dark room.
Yeah, sometimes when a person has low bandwidth, if the other people don't show video, then he's not having to deal with the video download
Yeah,
on that side.
yeah,
Sometimes that helps.
Hmm.
So for
yeah, that's
me,
true. That I seem to be okay now. Thanks.
okay. From my side, I was just going back and looking at um, all of the options. So the whole thing about the control center that uBlocks provides,
Mhm.
PC-based control center, I believe that I pulled the best of the features, the switches, or the controls that we need on those uBlocks modules into that test bed.
Okay.
And I just
Okay.
I went back and I looked. I said, "Is there anything else we could possibly need?" Um, there was one small feature update that allowed that now you visibly see a toggle switch to toggle between the map view and the data view in NavSat
You saw
data,
that.
um, rather than just having that as a note in the Slack channel.
Mhm.
Um, I also like the idea that initially we're probably going to wind up for spoofing and for jamming. We're probably going to be wind up analyzing data logs. So we're going to probably wind up putting flags. I know for spoofing we can put in that spoofing flag into. We should be putting that into the journal. I don't know what to do about jamming.
Mhm.
There
If
is some satellite data that comes out that allows you to do some really primitive spectral analysis. I forget what the packet is called.
can you do that on an ESP32? The with a fast Fourier transfer to analyze the spectrum. I mean, I've done
Yeah,
some
it's funny.
Windows stuff.
The demo software uses audio spectral analysis. Did you notice that?
Yes.
You could
Yeah.
you could possibly do
Similar.
something there.
Mhm.
And if you
But
want,
what we really need is a test case,
yes.
something that we
Yeah.
can work with, a real test case. So for spoofing, I'm going to set a toggle that will you can just have a blip of spoofing and where it creates an offset, and then it creates the opposite. Then it takes away the offset and sets a blip there, as a guess as to what we're expecting for spoofing. So that way,
Right.
if we wanted to deal with it right at the Zen level in real time, we could do that, or we could just or we could wait till if Adsby gives us some real data.
And no, not us.
Yeah, or Pavlov. Pavlov, yeah.
Pavlov.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah,
that-
yeah, Pavlov, right?
Yeah, I sent it today to him. And if you want something to be burned on it, a new version that you have an idea that they get more data out of it, please tell me.
Well,
And
that
you can
that
send
last
to him.
version, that dumps everything, all the packets.
Okay, okay, I put
So
it.
we should be fine.
And if you have, maybe for him it's easiest if we can just make an M5 burner file of the. I can do that. I mean that's fine.
Okay.
If you have some code, a special code, you want to try it out, and please tell me, then I can send to him directly.
Yeah, nothing special though right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Okay, good. I hope it arrives because today at the post office I had a few hours to discuss it with them to send to Ukraine. They were like, "What you gonna send? And how does it
Yeah.
work? And what parts are in there?" And I had to go back twice, make a list
Oh,
of
yeah.
what parts are in there,
Wow.
and then that took a few hours. But I also had to send back a bGeigieZen Nano to to Fukushima. I fixed it. There was a broken tube, so I replaced it. But then I came to the office post office, and I told them I'm going to send the Geiger counter back to Fukushima. And they said, "You made it yourself?" I said, "No, I repaired it." "Oh, it came from Fukushima. No, we cannot accept it."
Oh,
Oh, wow.
gosh.
Oh,
I said,
Oh
wow.
my goodness.
You delivered it to me from Fukushima, the same
Yeah.
person. And they said, "No, we didn't know that."
Oh, they didn't look at the address.
Yes.
Ugh.
Like a very interesting surprise.
Hmm.
So,
Wow.
But I'm gonna send it back another way. So
yeah, okay, that's too funny.
yes, I thought that too. And the
So-
funny thing is
so-
that we did a lot of work for the post office in Fukushima. I mean, the
That's
post
right,
office was driving
oh,
around
he-
with the bGeigieZen Nanos, and they were
That's-
measuring. And now one of them, one of those bGeigieZen Nanos cannot go back even. That's interesting.
So silly.
Yeah, because
So,
that's the way the Japanese they work. It's
Mm.
dangerous.
so has anybody, did you notice any suspicious characters following you home?
No, not yet. Not many people here, but no. I was very polite and I said, "Oh yeah, thank you." And that was it, kind of.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't even mention I'm gonna send it another way because they will say, "No, you cannot do that."
Yeah, just what they don't know won't hurt them.
No, I told them I can measure it if it's not if it's radioactive or not. No, we don't need to know that. And that's up to them. I have to keep them good friends because then they help me a lot. So
Right.
Yes. Yeah, because you are sending stuff all over the place.
yes, and I always write down computer parts. They are
Yeah.
Well, just electronics and computer
electronics.
parts, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, but okay, that was my thing for today. But they're on the way. So I mean the test unit is on the way. I used an old board and with an M5 stack and all the GPS on it. So this should be fine. Jelle had something
All right.
to tell about your progress on the 3 weeks idea.
Well, yeah. So I think it was a few days ago I mentioned like a few weeks, but I think I will be done next week.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wow.
good
It's
to know.
Wow.
I yesterday I got this, I don't know, like idea, like why am I not doing it the easy way, and just makes it so much easier. Like it's still some work, but it changes very little. Like I put most of the work in the user's hand. Like there are some functions that you can call to start the process instead of that a worker. Like uh, I was adding worker classes like this is like an async worker. You can set like which thread it runs on or which CPU, and then it would like run the process separately, and then it would do all the things in the library itself. But then now I'm just saying if you have a worker, you can just, if you want, start a thread, and then like you can use any worker as an async worker. If you just in the produce data function, you say start a thread to like to do more work while the rest is running, it will not run the same worker again until that thread is done. And when it's done, you can process whatever happened inside that worker, and you can put it in the data, and then the data is available to the rest of the device.
And
So
that runs on one CPU, or you have to do another CPU, another thread, or?
the idea is to the main thread runs on the first CPU,
Okay.
and then when you start when you're in a worker and you want to produce data async, so you can say like do this separately, do this in a different thread or as a task, and that task will by default run on the second CPU.
Okay.
And then it would just continue with the main thread, and then once the task is done, and it comes back to the worker in the next cycle on the main thread, it will pick up the data that was done, and then it will be available for the rest.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And same for the handler. So data comes in the handler, and let's say you want to send data to the API. You basically prepare the package, so the payload. You store it in the handler itself. You say, well, it's now going to run on as a separate task. So there's a new status, which is like it's handling data instead of done or idle. And then it will be like actively handling or working. And then the next cycle or a few later, it will check and we'll see that the task is done. And then it will like process the results or whatever and put it like in the main thread again. And then the screen or something can show, well, now it's done.
Okay.
So it's a very simple implementation actually. I was making it way too difficult.
Okay.
And this way it's basically what I was trying to achieve, but it's way easier to use and to program. So
Okay, great to hear that.
great.
Looking forward. So maybe next week.
maybe next week. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it done next weekend. So
Okay. And it's easy to check it. Is it probably sending a lot of data to the API and then see if it locks up or not? I mean, that was one of the issues we saw.
well, that's still a different issue
Okay.
because it will not make a second task as long as it's still running. So if it's maybe stuck sending for 10 seconds, even though there's a timeout, but let's say that it's stuck sending for 10 seconds, it will never be available to handle the next reading. So that might be an issue, but then you can like say like put in some timeout, or maybe I can add it to the library as a function as well with some timeout to cancel the task and just I don't know, handle like the unsent readings and send it with the next one as
Or
a
can you,
package or something.
if it's kind of half stuck like that and it doesn't report back on time, can you stop it and then send it the task one more time? Or you have no control?
Well, that would be implementation specific for a handler. So that
Yes.
would be in the code itself on the Zen. So let's say after a timeout of 3 seconds, we can make it 3 seconds. If it wasn't completed, it failed, and then we can keep the data that we wanted to send and send it with the next one.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Does the endpoint accept multiple readings? Can you send like an array,
Oh,
or
I
is
don't
it
know.
just one?
I think you can send. I remember that Ray one time sent blocks of data.
Hmm.
So kind of array, I think. I'm
Right.
not sure
Yeah.
how
Well,
that works, but
well, we can take a look at it next week. But maybe if you have some time, you can go into the API and see which endpoint it is.
shall I
Because I
ask
think
Ray? Maybe that's easy because he's done it. So
right. Yeah, that might be easy.
quicker to ask him. No.
Yeah. Okay.
If he wants to look into, probably he will like to because, or maybe I can look at the code of TT-Serve. It's probably in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we have this one endpoint. I think like measurements or something. It is.
Yes, let's measurement.
And maybe there is like a way you can post a array on the same endpoint, or like I would assume that might work. I'm not sure. Well,
Okay.
we'll figure it out, and also we have to update the endpoint, update the
Yes.
API. It shouldn't be an issue, I think.
Okay, great to hear.
Yep.
Are there any other things we have to talk about or want to talk about?
Not really.
No.
Not from my side.
No. I'm still busy with shipping, so preparing the shipping and some small changes still, and it's going out.
Yeah.
And
I
Peter,
did
I had
receive
this.
the new bGeigieCast 1.6.
Okay,
And it
good.
works, so that's good.
Yeah,
The button is very hard to press, but
yeah, I told you. But
it's so small.
the versions I'm selling, the higher versions, they have a much easier button.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Does
yeah,
have
which
the cap back on, or
Yeah.
which one do you have? Can you show? Because
Oh,
Rob
he
sent me
has
two.
I think Jelle has the low build version. It's a special
1.6.0.
No. I mean the chip is under.
Oh, the low build. Yes.
Yes, you have
And it
a
fits
low
on
build.
my device, so that's nice.
So I
It
have.
is very low.
So I have the two versions.
Yeah.
You see that?
Okay.
Yeah, you have both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have like, yeah. So
Okay.
it's like,
So yeah. So this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But then without the cap.
Yeah, no cap on it.
That's right. This one.
Oh, this one.
Okay.
You will have a very special one, Louis. It's a half.
What the one with?
And a half button. The not the orange one. The other one is still low build, but it has a cap on it. But the cap is cut, a special cut I made of the cap. It's
Oh, I see.
basically the same as
right.
Jelle had, but it had a cut off cover.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, and then you can still use the button.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky and it's not the way I would like it, but you can a little bit easier to use the button. But
Yeah. Okay.
for Jelle, I thought he doesn't need a cap.
Yeah, no, this is fine. I just needed to
think
get
so.
some easy debugging going. Makes
Yeah.
it a lot easier than using the red B and
Yeah.
what did I have?
Oh yeah, the red B is a very that's even older, the one you had.
Yeah, but I got all these like cables everywhere, and it
Okay.
makes it I don't know, not easy to debug.
No,
It's okay, but like having a new
USB-C
version,
is,
knowing that
yeah.
works. So
the USB-C
it's just plug and
it's
play.
it's a nice nice feature to have. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
But when you start using it, they said, "Oh, no way you can use the other one anymore." I had a special,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I had a special dock for it made, so it had XB on it.
Yeah.
So
Rob, while I'm thinking about it, you sent me that one of your prototype covers,
yeah,
and but it's a bit thick, so it's
yes,
very
that
hard to
one is
close.
still thick. Yeah.
Okay, So is the latest file that you have on GitHub, is that the better one?
Yeah, it has a 2 mm edge on it. It's inclined, so
Oh, I see.
the rubber, it goes through the rubber, and then it fits much nicer.
Okay, because a friend of mine has a 3D printer, so I'm just going to send him the STL file and
Yeah,
so,
but the problem is
if you
you have
have
to
that.
get the right material too.
Oh, I see. What material?
Don't print it with PLA; they will fall off.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
So what are you using?
nylon.
Nylon. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
and SLA, and you can just very cheaply get them. I think they're $2 each. With shipment,
That's-
it's maybe another $3 or $4, and
So it's called SLA?
SLA printing. It's with a liquid. I mean, you basically it's a tank
Oh,
liquid, and then there's an ultraviolet light on it, and it's like an print.
yeah, okay.
I have a huge one here, but I hardly use it because I can much easier send it to China. It's in the
True.
it's back, and
Yeah,
and
okay.
I cannot even for the time and the materials I use, I cannot just make it for it. If I really need a prototype the next moment, yes, I can make it. And I've done many of them.
Oh, I see, okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to keep it as is. I mean, it's just a bit hard to close the cover, but it seems to be
But
fine.
you have to be careful with that too.
Yeah.
The new boards that they are on the way back, they are 0.8 millimeter, not 1.6.
Okay,
They have another 0.8 millimeter space on the top. That will be better.
right.
I hope they're not too fluff, too, how to say,
Too flimsy?
flimsy.
Yeah, flimsy or floppy or whatever.
Flimsy stuff.
Well, fiberglass is amazingly strong. There's one time at work, this is way back when we had, when we still had the full size AT plug-in cards. So we had just a spare board that never got populated, that was a prototype, and we tried to break it.
Oh, it's hard.
And it basically bent.
Yeah.
It bent about in half like that, and then suddenly there was fiberglass everywhere.
Yeah.
It just exploded. But I was amazed at how much strength it took to break that. And
That's true. But
that was a
this
16
was probably an 8-layer board for the 8
No, it was just four. Just four. This is, yeah. The back then it was very uncommon to have more than four, and even four was a big deal for the fab shops around here.
Okay.
So anyway,
Good to hear.
piece of trivia.
That's nice. Michael still
it
has
for me.
some other things to say, or
No,
no? That's it for you. Okay. I think then we're done. We're not, or really want something else. Okay.
Nope.
Then I wish everybody a happy time.
Yeah.
Yes. Have a good
Just
week.
continue.
To the next time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
All right. Take care, everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.